get into a quartet of questions or scenarios that Drew and Headley will explore and analyze a few players here for you, again, to get you prepared for Senior Bowl week. The next batch of Senior Bowl accepted invitees, they're guys that have a lot to prove. In fact, these are the guys that Headley and Drew think have the most to prove. And we're going to start with you, Headley, and Jalen Duncan, all right, the offensive tackle from Maryland. You think he has a lot to prove in Mobile. Why is that?
Yeah, last season I watched the tape. I saw some good tape from him, liked him. I saw him on that Senior Bowl watch list. I was like, okay, people are catching on. And then, Twitter, all the hype around Jalen Duncan. And I'm like, okay, he's that guy. He's moving up boards. He's moving up the draft stock. But as the season went along, especially against the biggest competitions in Michigan and Ohio State against Zach Harrison, he struggled, man. He struggled with technique, hand placement, his base, his anchor, and he gave up some big plays, man. It was a stretch in the Ohio State game against Zach Harrison, beat him 3 straight times at the end of the game, and won the football game, I think, with a strip sack or something like that. So, he had a lot of bad tape leading up to the Senior Bowl, so I think he has a lot to prove. Let's see him go against these upper echelon edges. It's going to be a trench warfare at the Senior Bowl in these reps, so we'll see how he progresses there.
All right. Moving right along. Drew, you have a quarterback that you think has quite a bit to prove while being at the Senior Bowl. Obviously, it's an excellent showcase. And if you think about it, you know what I mean? The quarterbacks in recent years that have come through Mobile, including Jalen Hurts, your boy Danny Dimes,
Dak Prescott,
Justin Herbert. I mean, it's a very impressive list. There've been quite a few. Josh Allen, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There've been quite a few NFL starters that have come through the Senior Bowl and really helped themselves, buoyed their stock, and are playing at a high level at this point. But Jake Haener from Fresno State is a guy you think has a lot to prove, Drew. Why is that?
Yeah, man, he's now just coming on. Excuse me. See, I should have got that tea, bro, instead of ginger ale.
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this.
Yeah, I thought the ginger ale will work, bro. It's got the little bubbles in the back of the throat. You know what I'm saying? Clean it up, but guess not. Yeah, he's kind of coming on late now, right? And I watched some of his games last year, and and I watched a couple this year, and
you gonna say it?
He reminds me of a little bit, man.
There you go.
He reminds me a little bit of Carson Wentz when you talk about not knowing your limitations. And then he has some Jameis awkwardness to him when he's trying to run around and take off, bro.
That ain't a good duo.
No,
bro.
It's not a good thing, bro. Falling over his own feet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, this is something we got to improve. And I'm turning, same guy. You know what I'm saying? But when everything is right, sets his feet, got a nice ball that he can throw down the field, turns his back to the defense, finds the open guy. Like, there's things that you can like about him that I think you just want to see him be just more consistent, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, bro. He plays like I don't know if he's ever played Mario, bro. I don't know if he's ever played the game, Super Mario Brothers. I don't know if he's ever played that, bro. But you don't have infinite lives, bro. Like, I need you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And Fresno State wasn't. They got a bunch of
Sure.
It's not a bad football team. You know what I'm saying? So there's
right.
no reason to play that way, but he does for whatever reason. And I guess maybe he feels like he's got something to prove. I don't know, man. But to me, he's got a lot to prove, and I think he has like you said earlier, he's got a lot of quarterbacks have a real great opportunity to kind of boost their stock to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Go from a guy from being not really talking about him, goes there. Next thing you know, everybody's on him. Going back and watching the tape, trying to figure it out.
Speaking of Carson Wentz is a Senior Bowl alum as well. What do you think Haener needs to do? Is it just a matter of playing within himself?
Just being consistent, man. Understanding your limitations. Some of that may be coaching that they can just probably coach out of them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't do this stuff. This is hurting you. So we'll see what it looks like. But I'm gonna keep my eye on him, man.
Gotcha. All right. Next up, we have Matthew Bergeron. So, Heather, you're going back to the offensive tackle class here. Duncan and Bergeron are guys that you really liked, but you have some question marks as the season has progressed, as you've done more film study, as they face different types of competition, different types of players. You've noticed that there's some things that need to be worked on, and they have something to prove down in Mobile during the Senior Bowl. What specifically do you need to see from Bergeron?
I want to see how he faces the length and strength because against Isaiah Foskey, Miles Murphy, I know those are beasts in their own right, but you kind of struggled. You kind of struggled with your base. You got pushed back. I've seen Jared Verse blow right by him also. So let's see how you face against the upper echelon of competition. Because when I saw him earlier in the year, he was dominant. He was doing everything right. And when the schedule got a little harder for Syracuse, that's when he struggled. So although I do like Jalen Duncan over Bergeron because Duncan athleticism, quickness, how he moves. I kind of have him in the same category, man. Like, let's see who you are against the best competition. So we're gonna see it at Senior Bowl week with both of those guys.
All right, Drew. Up next, you have DeMarco Hellams, the safety from Alabama. We've talked about him quite a bit. I shouldn't say quite a bit, but several times during the second half draft show, this live show that we host on a weekly basis every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tune in. He's better coming forward than he is going back.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to see from him? What ultimately must he do during Senior Bowl week to help himself?
I think everybody here that me and Headley are going to talk about, it's about being consistent, right? 1 week Hellams is the guy. The next week, he's not the guy. He's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's the weakest link.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Right.
Getting used and abused and getting exposed.
He's
right?
the GOAT or he's the GOAT.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I just need to see more consistency. Like you said it, man. You basically said it. He's better coming downhill. I wonder what, I don't know his size at the moment, but I wonder if they're going to, because Senior Bowl, they like to try different things, do different things, maybe bring him down in the box, see what that looks like. I'm not sure what that'll look like in terms of what they'll do with him, but he's got to be more consistent in terms of playing back, man. Because if you're going to play safety, at some point you can be back there by yourself. You can be back there, on one side of the field or a third or a fourth of the field that you got to defend. So, you know what I'm saying? That has to look better, man. That has to be better. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do with him. I'm interested to see what they actually do with him, if he's going to remain at safety or, just showcase him playing in the box.
Gotcha. Obviously, you have the big nickel. I don't know exactly how he will fare in that role.
Right.
Hellams is fine in run support. You want to drop him down as an eighth man in the box. He's fine in doing that. I think he's decent in coverage if he's playing in the shallow parts of the field, if he's playing robber or something like that. But as you detailed it, if he's playing, the quarters coverage in the deep third, he's single high, like that's when you run into issues. That's when you run into issues. And there are teams in the SEC that found a way to isolate him in coverage and took advantage of him, right? But when he's playing well, he's a difference maker. So a lot of peaks and valleys in his play. As you mentioned, want to see more consistency out of him. Headley, next up, you have Daiyan Henley, linebacker from Washington State, a guy that you like. Why do you feel like he's among the players that have the most to prove?
It's about his instincts and awareness. Does he have the requisite? Can he take coaching? Because sometimes he's like, you don't want to be a crash dummy out there. You just running into any hole, opening up bigger holes for the running back.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to see your head on your swivel, because he has the athleticism. He could fall back in pass coverage. He could go sideline to sideline. So I just want to see how he does at the Senior Bowl with coaching and see if he's going to be in the correct places where he needs to be. So that's what I'm looking for Daiyan Henley.
All right, and Drew, we have one additional linebacker here among the guys with the most to prove. Guy that plays for played for your Florida Gators, Ventrell Miller.
Yeah, I think that if Ventrell Miller could give Henley a little bit more of his instincts, you might have a guy there. But for Ventrell Miller, man, again, I'm going back to it, man. I'm saying it again, bro. It's just being consistent, man, because at times without him on that Florida defense, boy, it was marshmallowy. Like he was the leader of that football team, and when he was not there, it was bad. And there were times where he was incredible, man. Sideline to sideline, being able to fill this hole, fill that hole, stack and shed. And then there were times where it's like what happened, bro? Like, where were the instincts? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened, man? Getting washed out of plays, like it's like almost like he just turned into a completely different person from this play to that play to another play, and it's like I'm looking at the number like, damn, is it a freshman out there? Like, what's happening, bro? What's going? Nope, it was Ventrell Miller. He just happened to miss the play, just happened to miss the tackle, So And I think he may, not have the quick twitch that you want from the position. The way he plays linebacker, that means you got to be a little bit more instinctual, got to be a little bit more correct. You got to be a little bit more technically sound when it comes to the position. So, we'll see what that looks like out there at the Senior Bowl.
You have some limitations, some athletic limitations. You have to play smarter, all the way from the film room and studying and analyzing your opponent, all the way to applying it on the field. You know what I mean? And to your point, if you're not able to do that on a consistent basis, your athleticism or lack thereof can get exploited, right? And if you just simply live on athleticism, you're going to have issues as well. So, yeah, marrying that up and finding that sweet spot, certainly important for Ventrell Miller to improve his draft stock at the Senior Bowl.